Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Top 5 Saturdays Live with me, Chase Lee, and my co-host,
Ryan Suffield.
That's fucking right. And hey, listen, if you're new to the show, welcome. Hopefully I didn't scare you off too bad. What we do is we take a look at some of the movies coming out on Friday, and we will make a top 5 list according to a movie and honor it with a director, actor, actress, whoever. And we'll just kind of like celebrate that person or genre or what we're celebrating, and just kind of have a grand old time making a list, yelling at each other. So if you're new to the show, like I said, welcome again. And what we do on the show is we don't know each other's lists, so that's the cool thing about it. And it's live, so we have no idea what the hell's going to come out of our mouths. So it's a fun, grand old time. First, before we get into our topic for the week, Brian, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Oh, you know, I'm doing pretty damn cool because guess what? We got a fucking guest, man. Brian, would you like to introduce our guest?
Sure thing. He's been on this show never, but he's been on Chase's show like 2,500 times. It's our boy Terence Page. Terence, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Glad to be here.
Yeah, if you guys don't know this, like Terence has been my Oscar bro for what we've done it for a couple years now, right?
I think it's coming up on 3 years now. I think. Yeah,
this year will be the third. So usually for my podcast episodes, I'll basically ask certain people for certain things and stuff, and you know, Terence and I did it in 2014. We clicked, man. So Terence always comes on my Oscar Noms podcast, and we also do the Oscar live show. So actually, Terence will hang out with me willingly and not by blackmail for 4 hours and be cool with it. So yeah. Terence is a cool cat, man, and he knows his shit. Like Terence knows his movies. Like I know we don't talk that much, and I know Terence doesn't really, you know. He doesn't do as many like movie reviews on social media as he used to, but the guy knows his shit, and that's why he's on here. And speaking of that, Brian, what are we doing this week?
We're honoring Will Smith. Suicide Squad comes out this week. Most divisive movie of the summer, probably, since Ghostbusters, which was only 3 weeks ago. But anyway, we're honoring Will Smith.
Yeah, so with that being said, Terence and Brian have seen Suicide Squad. I have not, so I can't really jump into that conversation just yet, but yeah, I've heard, you know, it's very divisive and stuff, but the cool thing about the movie is that I've heard one shining glimmer of hope throughout most reviews is that Will Smith is actually really good in the movie. You want to know why? Because the guy is charismatic as fuck, and he can pretty much act his way through a Home Depot commercial, and we're gonna find it, you know, appealing. So yeah, I'm really excited to talk about Will Smith. He is definitely one of the most charismatic dudes in the business. He's done a lot of shit piles, but he's also done a lot of memorable performances. He's done a lot of fun performances. The guy's all over the place, and he's pretty much hit every single genre that I can think of. So I'm gonna go to our guest first, Terence. When you think of Will Smith, like what do you think of first? Like what genre comes to you, and like you know, is he one of those actors that you always look forward to?
Yeah, I do look forward to his performances or his movies, most of them. When I think of Will Smith, I think of action. Like, first of all, I think of Bad Boys, honestly. Like, he's one of those actors that, like, he brings gravitas to every role he does, no matter if the movie's whack or not so good, like Wild West. Not mention that much, that movie too much, though. But, yeah, definitely seeing Suicide Squad, that he definitely brought some type of flavor to the movie, just like with any other movie he's going to. So, yeah, Will Smith, he may not pick the best movies, though, but he's always going to be good in it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's like, even if he's in a crappy movie, like he still gives like oddly enough 110%. And you can't fault the guy for that. So, yeah, Brian, what about you? What do you think of Will Smith? And you know, do you look forward to him? And what kind of genre sticks out in your mind when you think of the Smith?
Well, it depends on what movie he does where I'm looking forward to, because honestly the last few years he's kind of been hit or miss. Like, it's not him necessarily, it's the films that he's in. Like you said, Chase, he's always going to be enjoyable to watch on screen no matter what he does. I mean, yeah, I'm kind of with Terence on the action stuff, like the whole like big budget blockbusters, now the superhero stuff, of course. So, I mean, like Will Smith, I mean, the guy can pretty much do any genre. I mean, for goodness sakes, he got his introduction on a TV comedy that I think all three of us grew up with. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No. Hey, listen, Terence is my age. We saw some Fresh Prince of Bel-Air on television. Trust me.
Okay, good. Because there are some people your age that don't like the Fresh Prince. And I'm like, what? That's impossible because
I love the Fresh Prince.
Oh, it's great.
it's amazing. And yeah, Will Smith, I'm excited to honor him. It's gonna be a very interesting list.
Holy shit! Hey Brian, before we continue, can you like unplug your mic? This week you sounded like Optimus Prime jacking off in a bathroom somewhere. Sorry for that. I can't even continue. Yeah, so I'm really excited to do this list. So the way we do this show is we'll do from 5 to 1, and then once we have our top 5 lists, we'll do some honorable mentions, some dishonorable mentions, and then Brian will introduce next week's show. But before we begin, I have my trusty board right here, and I will mark down Terence, Brian, and myself's list, and we will compare at the end. With that being said, let's go to my guests. First, our guest, Terence. I have to ask you the pivotal question. What is your number 5 favorite Will Smith film of all time?
Wow, that's a tough one, though. That's a tough one. Because, I mean, a lot of movies I like and a lot of movies I don't particularly care for, but I would have to go with wait for it, I Am Legend.
Okay.
Yeah, and then when I first saw that movie, I didn't particularly care for it. I irritated my friends. Said that movie sucked, man. I can't stand it. But honestly, it's one of those movies that, like, after watching it, it's pretty good. Like, you know, I can't complain about it too much though, but except for certain things. No, but I Am Legend is pretty a decent, entertaining movie that I like watching.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna pass on it. And that's the other thing, Terrence. If something is on your list and you want to wait to talk about it until later, just say pass, and I'll just assume that's on your list, and it'll whittle it down. So yeah, no, I'm gonna pass on I Am Legend. So, but I agree with you though. So Brian, let's go to you. I Am Legend. Would you like to pass, or would you like to talk about it? Brian, I can't hear you. No one can hear you.
Brian, come back to us.
Brian's gone. I think his mic just like exploded. Like it's probably like officially dead.
He's smacking his mic. Smack it harder, Brian. Smack it harder.
This is amazing, folks. This is why we do this live, because anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Now,
Brian? Yes. Oh, Brian. All right.
Pass on I Am Legend.
Okay, so it is on Brian's list. And I can hear my reverb in Brian's computer. Let's pass. So, Brian, let's go to you. What is your number 5?
The only reason why I put this on the list is because it's a really solid performance in my eyes. I'm put Concussion as my number 5 because while I don't think it's a great film, I don't think it's a bad film. I liked it. I wish it was better because those trailers were great in my opinion. I mean, I kind of Tell the Truth. I mean, that became a whole thing from like August of last year till now. Everyone still says tell the truth. Every time someone brings up Will Smith, they're like, "Hey, you gotta tell the truth." No, I will not tell the truth. Okay, like get out. But no, I will say this. He's great in the movie. The action was really superb. I thought from the trailers, at first I was like, I've never seen Will Smith do an accent like this, so I don't know how this is going to go. And yet he managed to pull it off. Like, anyone could have played this role, but Will Smith just had that good vibe. Like, this is the kind of performances I like to see Will Smith in. I like to see him in the straight-up dramatic stuff. Like, yes, I love him in the action stuff. I love him in the comedies, but I love seeing him in the straight-up dramatic films. And I brought up a few of them on my list. And, Concussion, I mean, it's an interesting story. It's just about Ben Omalu checking out all the concussions that go on with the NFL players. And it's really interesting. The film wasn't as good as it could have been. A few months ago, almost a year ago, I was at this festival where they had 4 directors at this panel. One of them was the director of The 33, that mediocre Antonio Banderas mining film. The director of this film, Lenny Abrahamson, the director of Room, and Tom McCarthy, the director of Spotlight. And each of them talked about interesting stuff. The thing that was so interesting about this is that they shot a scene outside at one point where it was like -1 degrees, and they just kept on going and going and going until they got it right. They didn't care that it was like -1 degrees outside. They just kept going and going and going. And Will Smith apparently was like, no, I want to keep doing this until it's right, until you think it's right. I'm not going to phone it in. I'm going to do it when you think it's right. So that's called commitment. So yeah, Concussion, it's a fine film, but it's worth seeing specifically for Will Smith's performance.
I think Concussion. Brian, turn on your computer. I think Concussion like it looked good, and like I really wanted to see it before the Oscars and stuff, even though it wasn't really nominated for anything because I just heard so much about it. But yeah, I'll check it out eventually because I do admire his dramatic performances when he comes to play and whatnot. So, Terrence, I don't think you really have concussion on there. So do you want to talk about it?
Oh no, I don't have concussion on it, but I agree with Brian though. Like it definitely was a good performance he gave. His action was pretty decent, and he should have like with the nominations that he got last year, he should have at least made it into the top 5 best actors last year with that performance. Though it's not a like you said, not a great movie, but a decent movie where it's enjoyable.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely give it a shot because you guys convinced me. So my number 5. I'm going to go against the grain a little bit and choose one of his more popular films, and that's because I grew up with it and I really had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was very imaginative. I thought it was very creative, and just a whole lot of fun to see Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones kicking some alien ass in Men in Black. The Will Smith I grew up on was 3 things. It was Bel Air, Independence Day, and Men in Black. And so I remember when I first watched Men in Black, I really enjoyed the chemistry between them two because I had never seen a Will Smith movie. I had no idea who the fuck this guy was, and I thought he was he sold it. Like he sold that agent part. Like he was a slick, badass motherfucker killing some aliens. I thought the effects looked really cool, especially for '95 or '96 whenever it came out. I thought it was really just, like I said, imaginative and fun, and you just really got sucked into this crazy, chaotic world filled with slimy, disgusting fucking aliens. So. Yeah, it's my number 5 purely because I think it was the first one I ever saw from him, and I had a lot of fun with it as a kid, and I still have a lot of fun with it now. Don't really care for the sequels, but it is what it is. I'm going to take a wild guess and say that Men in Black is higher on you guys' list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I am the crazy fucking one. All right, so it's higher on their list, which means okay. Let's see if I can try to guess where it's at. All right, so moving on to number 4. Terrence, take it away.
Number 4 for me is funny. Funny enough, I just watched it for the first time today before I actually got on it. It's Ali.
Interesting. I've actually never seen Ali.
Yeah, I had it on my DVR for like 2 months. So yeah. So yeah, Ali is one of those movies that like really put Will Smith on the map acting wise.
Yeah.
So, his performance in that really like transcended him into one of those best actors that actually can pull off anything. It's one of those movies that you're not used to because he's more into action stuff like that. But yeah, Ali, he definitely plays his part in Ali. Like you don't see Will Smith, but you definitely see Ali in that movie. So I gotta say Ali for his performance.
I think Ali is like it's one of the few boxing movies I haven't seen. Like Brian, convinced me to do Cinderella Man last year or earlier this year, and I bought it at a pawn store for like $1, and I love it to death. So I think I'll check out Ollie whenever I can for sure. So unfortunately, I can't talk about it because I did not see it. So Brian, would you like to talk about that, or move on to your pick?
That's my number 4 as well.
Oh shit! Look at that.
Fist bump to the screen. Bam.
Yes. One of the reasons why I saw this movie was because it was directed by Michael Mann, and Michael Mann is the shit. Yeah, this got Will Smith his first Oscar nomination. He really killed it as Muhammad Ali. Rest in peace. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more grittier than a lot of the boxing movies. I think it's the most gritty boxing film we've had in like 10, 15 years. I think it came out 15 years ago. I could be wrong. But it kind of reminded me a little bit. It was like Michael Mann's Raging Bull. And not just because it was boxing, not just because it's a true story, but it had a very sense of grittiness to it. And I think that was a really excellent move for Michael Mann to do. This was something so different for him. And him working with Will Smith was something awesome. I would love to see them work together again. And he really did a great job as Muhammad Ali. The boxing sequences, not the most memorable, but very well done. I still think the best boxing movies of all time are Rocky and Raging Bull. Those are the top 2 best. I mean, if anyone says there's a film that's better than those 2, you're obviously on drugs. There's something wrong with you. Yeah, Ali, great film. Haven't seen it in years. I do want to watch it again, probably because Muhammad Ali recently left this world, and yeah, I really like the film a lot. It's my number 4 as well.
You know what? You guys have fucking sold me, man. Like I said, Brian sold me on Cinderella Man, and I told Brian this. Like I'm a huge proponent of boxing films. I don't know why. I'm just a huge guilty pleasure for me. I love underdog stories, and yes, are they mostly all told the same with like a little twist here and there? Sure, but I still enjoy watching that initial fight, then watch the second fight and get their ass kicked, and watch that third fight where they fucking come back and kick their ass. It's amazing shit, and I will definitely check out Ali. I'll probably just blind buy it, to be honest with you, whenever I can find it for cheap. So
it's a little too long for my liking, but it's decent enough.
My goodness.
How long is it?
2 hours and 40 minutes.
Oh shit! Damn. Brian, I think your microphone is like spazzing out.
No, it was. I think it was yours. It was yours.
Please.
Just don't bring the black guy. Just don't bring the black guy.
All right. My number 4. I'm gonna go with one of the first R-rated movies that I saw, and that would be Bad Boys 2. Hey, listen. When I was 17, I went on a spree, and I definitely rented a bunch of raunchy comedies. I did some horror films, and one of the action films that I got was Bad Boys 2. And dude, I fucking love that chemistry between him and Martin Lawrence, and I'm somewhat excited to see the third one. I think it's just a ridiculous action film, but like I said, this is one of the first R-rated action films I did see. I think it's the first Michael Bay movie I ever saw. I think the guy's got super talent and whatnot. I know a lot of people shit on him and whatnot, but he still knows how to make an action film regardless of how realistic and how grounded it is. He knows how to film action sequences and stuff. And I think when you pair that with the charisma and the jokey jokes from Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, I think it makes for a great movie. I mean, there's really nothing more to say. It's a memorable movie for me, especially my year as 17 and going crazy at the video store because they were still around back in the day, renting some R-rated movies. So would you gentlemen like to comment on Bad Boys 2?
Dude, I got to pass on this one.
You got to pass again?
Yeah, pass on this one, yeah.
Terence, that's 2 passes, which means you've only got 1 mystery slot left. Okay. Brian, what about you? Brian, I can't hear you. This is the point where Brian's gonna break down afterwards and just go cry somewhere. Hey, listen. I mean, I've had my snowball microphone for I want to say a few years now. So if it shits out, then I'm just gonna accept it.
I haven't seen Bad Boys 2.
What? What is wrong with you?
What?
Brian, get the hell out of here. You're not even a part of this conversation anymore.
I saw the first one. I'm sorry. I just saw the first one actually a few months ago.
Could you promise me that you'll at least see it before number 3?
Sure, of course. Of course I'm going to see it. First of all, they need to start filming number 3. Number 3, I think, is supposed to come out in June. They got to get on that, now.
I think Martin Lawrence is at a churro stand somewhere, so if someone can alert him, do a pigeon in a bottle or something, alert him that he's going to be in it. I don't even know where the fuck he's at. Yeah, so that's my number 4. So moving on to number 3. This is going to be interesting because Terence has already got 2 slots booked up. He's got Men in Black and he's got Bad Boys 2. Now, I don't know what his mystery one is, but maybe number 3 is his mystery one. I don't know. It's probably going to be one of the save spots. So Terence, what do you got for number 3?
I got iRobot. Yeah, I think iRobot is one of the underrated. A lot of people don't realize it as one. But kind of like the big I thought it was really well directed. Well, it takes Shia LaBeouf out of it. But I thought it was action and sci-fi in it. Okay, we lost you.
What the hell is happening? This is why you started talking about fucking iRobot, and now Google is fucking up. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. But there's like extreme reverb on your side.
Oh, fuck.
Anyways, Terence, can you hear me, man?
Yeah, always. Yeah.
Okay. This fucking hangout's weird, man. Like I think YouTube's finally hit its breaking point. It's like get this goddamn shit off the air. Yeah. So Terence was at his number 3. Sorry, I just got sidetracked because of all the technical shit. So Brian, you're up, man.
Wait, are you sure you can hear me? I took out my microphone just in case if it starts to lag again.
It's still reverbing, but don't worry. Don't worry when you're talking. It doesn't reverb or anything. So go ahead and start talking.
Okay. My number 3 is I'm Legend, and
Hey, so it's mine. There we go.
Awesome. Okay, so this is a very well done film. For one thing, it teases that Batman v Superman was coming out like what 5 years before it was even announced. So that's actually really fucking funny. It was directed by Francis Lawrence, who people might know for directing 3 of the Hunger Games movies, so basically pretty much the entire franchise. Will Smith basically carried this movie on his shoulders, and he did a stellar job doing it. And I don't think anyone else could have played this role as well as Will Smith. Actually, no, anyone could have played the role, but he did very, very, very well. I mean, the opening sequence where pretty much everyone goes away is like really haunting. It gets me. I remember when I saw this movie, I was 9 or 10 when it came out. I saw it. I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it on cable, on HBO or Stars or one of those channels, and it really got to me. It haunted me. I wasn't really like paying attention to the story when I was younger. I was more like, ooh, it's visually awesome. It's terrifying as hell, but it's also really visually stunning. But then as I got older, I watched it and I'm like, damn, this is actually a really powerful movie. And of course, they have a dog scene. Oh my god, that kills me every fucking time. Every goddamn time. They had to do one and they made me upset. And I'm like, fuck you, Francis Lawrence. Just fuck you. Just go in the hole and just fucking die for what you did to me and everyone else who loves dogs. I Am Legend, great film, pretty underrated. Not a lot of people talk about it. Someone was like, oh, it's overrated as hell. No, it's really not. I mean, yeah, it has a high rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's like in the high 70s. That's not really a high rating. That's not like an overrated. That's like a generally positive review reception. Overrated is like 80 plus. That's 80. Like that would be the overrated. All right, people? Okay. Yeah, I'm Legend is my number 3. Chase, go ahead.
Yeah, no, for I Am Legend, what's really interesting is I think this was one of the first movies I saw in theaters for Will Smith when he was like in his slew of summer movies, when he did like, Hitch, when he did this movie, when he did Hancock, when he did all these movies like year after year and whatnot. It was just kind of impressive to see him kind of knock out a blockbuster every single summer. This was one of them I really enjoyed. I think it actually is a pretty underrated movie in his career. I really liked kind of like the horror sci-fi mystery aspect of it. I love the fact that, he was doing everything during the day, and then at night he was basically fearing for his life, and the dog was his only friend. He thinks he's the last person on Earth and whatnot. And, he's got to fight these creatures, and we don't know what these creatures are, what the mystery is, and we're just kind of along this journey to see Will Smith's character survive. And I really love, like, I know it's, like, mostly CG, but it looks really cool with the cities, like, covered in grass, and it looks like a fucking concrete jungle. And I just like the aesthetic of the film. It's like what Brian said, that fucking dog scene, man. That's some of the best acting you'll see Will Smith do. I'm not even joking. Like, I know that he's probably not really choking out anything or like a prop or whatever. He's just acting, and it looks like he's like choking out something, and it's really just heartbreaking to watch because, like I said, that dog is Will Smith's only friend in the movie and whatnot, so it's really kind of heartbreaking to see him kill off his one friend because of the injury and whatnot. So yeah, I enjoy I Am Legend quite a bit. I think it's a nice little sci-fi horror film. So, Terrence, what about you, man? Do you, yeah, because it's not on your list. So, or
Yeah,
wait, no,
yeah, it's on my list. Yeah.
oh my God, these technical difficulties are like fucking skewing me southwards, man. I apologize. Anyways, Terrence, you came on a great night, man. This is why I love doing this shit live, man. You have no idea what the fuck's gonna happen.
Oh, it's so good, man. It's so good. No, but I totally agree, though. Like, I Am Legend is, like, definitely, like I said before, it's like, I didn't like it when I first watched it, and, like, I irritated my friends for not liking it. But, like, rewatching it again, it's like, it's a decent, solid flick. And, like Brian said, that you're watching him act, or like you said, you watch him act by himself. It's like, he's not doing his Will Smith isms or whatever, just like a pure actor. It's like, he has his action moments there, but it's like that movie's pure mostly on his acting ability. Because I always find it hard, or I find it amazing that when actors are acting by themselves or don't have a large ensemble cast, and Will Smith can definitely carry a movie like that. He can have a movie by himself and still carry it and not be bored by it. So I Am Legend is one of those movies that, you know, I mean, I like it at the beginning, but it's definitely one of those movies that if you're a Will Smith fan, you kind of got to check out.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I forgot to ask you this when you were talking about it, and I'll ask Brian too, to either one of you. Have either one of you seen the alternative ending, and which ending do you prefer the better?
Oh, man, I don't even remember. I don't think I did, though, to be honest with you.
See, I never saw the alternative ending, but I heard that was extremely different than the original and whatnot, and I just don't know what people like.
Mm. I tried to research it on YouTube, and then I forgot what I liked the most, so let's see.
Okay, Brian, what about you? Did you see the alternative ending?
Haven't seen the alternate ending.
Okay, all right. And by the way, Brian, that fixed the reverb problem, so you might have to wear headphones for the rest of our run. Well, at least hey guys, we fixed it. We're fucking geniuses. All right, yeah. So guys, we're moving on to our top two. Now, I know for a fact what's in Terrence's top two. We got Bad Boys 2 in there somewhere, and we got fucking Men in Black somewhere. So I'm really curious to see what Terrence picks. However, for Brian, anything goes, man. He could put Independence Day. He could put Men in Black. I forgot if he passed on Bad Boys 2 or not, because, like I said, too many technical difficulties to where I even fucking remember how we even started the episode. But yeah, I'm really curious to see hear you guys' number two. So for Terrence, I'm gonna take a wild guess. And I'm gonna say, you know, I've known Terrence for quite a while, but I don't think we've ever fully discussed Will Smith in full. But I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that Terrence is more of an action dude. So I'm gonna say Bad Boys 2 is his number one. So I'm gonna say Men in Black is his number two.
Dude, you know me. You know me. Yep, Men in Black is number two, man. Men in Black is number two. Like this movie came out in 1997. I was like, what? Maybe like 9, I think. Oh my goodness, I'm not going way back. No, but when it's like when Men in Black came out, man, that was when Will Smith was at his highest. Like Fresh Prince was just ending. He had his rapping career, and it's like blockbuster movies with this and Independence Day. Like you said before about with Men in Black, him and Tommy Lee Jones, that chemistry, you cannot fake that chemistry because Tommy Lee Jones has a type of personality where it's like straight-laced, strict. If you ever seen him do interviews, you know how like wooden he can be. So and playing off that with Will Smith, it was like a perfect combination. I think I haven't seen a combination like that between Will Smith if it's not Martin Lawrence. So him and Tommy Lee Jones, that chemistry with the direction and the sci-fi-ness is like one of the funniest movies and one of the most entertaining movies I've seen from him.
Yeah, and you know what's really ironic about Men in Black? I forgot to bring this up. It's actually directed by Barry Sonnenfeld, who actually has a movie out competing against Suicide Squad with the shitty Cat movie. So there you go.
Forgot all about that.
God, how he has fallen. So yeah, no, that's really cool that you put Men in Black as your number two, man. It's like I said, like, yeah, Terrence is a couple of years older than me, but we relatively grew up around the same time frame. So like Men in Black came out when I was 7. I remember watching that shit and stuff as a kid. I'm like, Woohoo! People killed aliens. Yeah. So,
Welcome.
yeah, man, great pick. So, for Brian, this is gonna be. I don't know, man. Because I don't know if Brian's gonna go more action centric or if he's gonna go more dramatic.
He's a wild card.
I know Brian. He's poker facing right now. I can't read anything. So Brian, what are you thinking, man? What do you got for number 2?
My number 2 is Men in Black as well.
Oh shit!
Nice.
Terence talked shit out before you came on.
Yeah, well, first of all, when this movie came out, like, Chase said, oh, I was 7, Terrence said I was 9. I was not even alive when this movie came out. I was born, like, 7 months after this movie came out, so, I mean...
Hey, Terrence, Terrence, guess what? We're old as fuck, man.
Yeah, I'm noticing that. This is my king.
Like, listen, you know what the difference is between you and me? I make this suit look good.
Nice. Classic line.
Yeah, like you guys said, this unexpected duo of Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones is just so well executed. It kind of like, when I saw The Nice Guys a few months ago, it kind of reminded me of that because no one ever expected a duo like Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe to work out well. And, I mean, now granted, that is a little more different, but this one, no one ever expected because this came out 1 year after Fresh Prince ended, 1 year after Independence Day came out, so like people were like, how is this gonna work? Like this Oscar winner guy and then this Fresh Prince guy, like how are they gonna work together? They work out together very, very well, and I mean, Chase brought up the visual effects, the makeup by Rick fucking Baker. Holy shit, this makeup is amazing. This guy, the practicality that this guy does, the prosthetics is amazing. And I hate that he retired, but he said, well, it's because now all they do is CGI. He's right. That's all they ever do now. So he has a point. And Vincent D'Onofrio is the villain. Sugar. Like, that is a good villain. And, yeah, it's fun. It's entertaining. I'm going to disclose this right now, and I don't know how you guys feel about this particular sequel. One of them is absolute shit. The other one, a lot of people were like, oh, that one's shit too. Men in Black 3, I actually think is a pretty underrated film. That's just my opinion. How do you guys feel about Men in Black 3?
I don't really care that much about the franchise. Yeah, I put the first one on my list, but like as far as the sequels go, I'm not like, woohoo, I'm a Men in Black fan. I'm just like, I like the first one. Let's move on.
I mean, I'll take 3 over 2 though. I'll give him that much. I'll take 3 over 2 because 2 is just garbage.
Well, I guess that's a good enough reason. I can't argue with that.
Yeah, no, I saw. I think I saw Men in Black 3 in theaters. I saw number 2 on DVD. They're fine. I just, I'm not like a hardcore fan of them, but it is what it is. And before I move on to my number 2, I know a lot. I know it might seem like every single week Brian and I pick a lot of like 90s and like early 2000s of like people's careers and stuff, not pick older films. I was discussing this with Brian. If you guys are wondering why we're not picking any older Will Smith films, believe it or not, his first film role was in 1991. So anything from the 90s on up is what he's done. So I just had to bring that up because I know I'm sure a lot of people get really frustrated at us millennials going picking newer shit over older shit. So I just had to mention that. Yeah, so my number 2, I'm going to go against the grain again and pick something that I know it's not in either one of you guys' list, and it's actually revered as a terrible Will Smith movie. But when I first saw it, not only is it a part of one of my favorite genres, not only is it one of my favorite ones he's done in that slew of summers in a row that he did, it's also got the best drinking game for whenever someone says asshole, take a shot and you'll die by the end of the movie. I'm going with Hancock. Now listen, a lot of people will, not really like that movie. I totally get it. He's not really a likable character. But I look at it this way. As for someone that has superpowers in the real life setting, I feel like that would be the closest representation to what would actually happen. Like someone, has these powers or whatever, and he gets too cocky and no one really likes him, so he's kind of alone in the world and he feels obligated to save these people, but yet he's still like a drunk and shit. I don't know, it just feels more realistic to me in a realistic setting, as if is if someone did have superpowers. Now, if you look at a movie like Kick-Ass, it's a bunch of kids and people trying to be vigilantes in the real world. This is more of like if someone actually had, Bruce Banner powers or, Captain America powers in the real world setting. I like kind of like that grounded aspect of it. I like the fact that he's kind of an asshole because it makes us want to root for him towards the end of the movie and stuff. And I don't know, I just liked following his character around, just a bumbling drunk trying to save people. I don't know, that I just find that interesting and whatnot. Yeah, and I actually liked his pairing with Charlize Theron, believe it or not. I actually hope they do another movie in the future. So I don't know, maybe I'm just maybe I'm psychotic. So I know it's not on you guys' list. So Terence, what do you think of Hancock?
The only thing I remember of Hancock is the fact that The Dark Knight came out the same year, and the fact that my mom was going to see we were going to see The Dark Knight together. She said, "Okay, I want to see I want to see The Dark Knight with you. I'll see Hancock." And then she came back home. She said, "How was Hancock?" And I can tell she was lying because she said, "Oh, the movie was fine. It was okay, whatever." And then come to find out she wants to go see The Dark Knight without me. So yeah. So come to find out, she didn't see Hancock. So I saw Hancock when it came on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. It was okay, I liked it, but it's kind of, for me, it's kind of like forgettable to me.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, I'm in the minority. I think it's his most enjoyable, one of his most enjoyable ones, and I also think there's a lot more depth to his character than people give him credit for. I know he's an asshole, as it is stated 27 times in the movie, but I don't know. I just feel like there's a little bit more to him and whatnot. But like I said, maybe I'm just I don't know. Maybe it just hit me at the right moment because I was 18 when it came out, so I have no clue. So, Brian, what about you? What do you think of Hancock?
I like Hancock. I enjoy that film a lot. I saw it opening weekend. I remember with my dad, and I really enjoyed it. I think I brought it up on our Charlize Theron episode, which was kind of a BS episode because that was like an episode, and I liked her back and forth with Will Smith. You said how like if it's like very realistic if some normal guy had powers. It felt like a documentary to me in some ways. Like Peter Berg directed it. It kind of felt, from what I remember, because I only saw it the one time in the theater, and that was 8 years ago. I haven't seen it since. I remember just being like, this actually feels like kind of like a superhero documentary in a way. Like just like if you're following the life of a guy with powers, abilities, all that stuff, and I enjoy it. I do want to watch it, and I do have an interest because I'm kind of trying to go on the Peter Berg binge because of Deepwater Horizon, which looks fucking amazing. So, like, yeah, Hancock, pretty good film.
Like I said, I'm the weird one of the group, and I'll totally accept that. Except I want to shut Rotten Tomatoes down because you motherfuckers don't believe with me. Whoa. That's not true. I don't want to do that because I'm not an idiot. That was a reference to what happened this week. So, I actually want to see a sequel or some type of continuation of the story because it kind of leaves off as if something big is going to happen, and I'm kind of disappointed that nothing has happened so far. So, so that's my number 2. Guys, this is our number 1. And I can tell you right now, from my pick and Terence's pick, they're vastly different in tones. That is the joy of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Terence, can you explain to me and the world and everyone listening, why is Bad Boys 2 so close to you?
Dude, I love Bad Boys 2 so much. You know I'm an action guy. Action, man, is my thing. And Bad Boys 2 is the epitome of an action movie, honestly. Michael Bay, call it what you will. Like, he makes terrible movies. Like, The Rock is good. The first Transformers movie is good. But when most of these movies, you can say the jokes don't work. But with Bad Boys 2, the jokes work, especially with him and Will Smith's chemistry with Martin Lawrence. The jokes work, and that chase scene, that 10-minute chase scene, was so great. I never forget about that movie. Like I bought that movie on DVD and I bought that movie on Blu-ray. That's how much I love Bad Boys 2. I mean, I'm not the biggest Michael Bay fan, but if he ever does another Bad Boys movie, which he's not going to do, the third one though, but that's when Michael Bay is at his best. We got good chemistry with these two actors, and the jokes hit, and the action works, and it's not dumb action just for the sake of having action. It's not dumb jokes like the sake of having dumb jokes. Bad Boys 2 is one of those amazing action movies that you cannot feel bored at. I mean, if you can feel bored at a Bad Boys 2 movie, then you don't know action completely. Bad Boys 2 is just like one of the best action movies, best action cop movies that I've ever seen, honestly. And I'm not speaking a lot about it, but that's how much I feel about it. And like, I just can't say it. This action movie, Bad Boys 2, man. What can I say more about it?
Damn, that's. I mean, if someone was not a Michael Bay fan, Terence should be the spokesperson for that because he completely just even sold me to just rewatch it. I remember I watched, like I said, Bad Boys 2 when I was a kid, and sure, I thought it was nice, shoot 'em up, awesome shit. And then when I was older, I watched number 1, number 2 back to back. And Terence, isn't it fucking crazy how the first and the second one are both done by Bay, yet they feel completely different?
Yep, they do. They do.
Yep.
But the first one is more of like story driven. I mean, it has some action stuff in it though. It's more like more like calmer than the second one. But the second one takes it to a whole new level. I mean, wow. I mean, that's Will Smith at his best where his charisma is there actually. So it's like, wow. Man, make you want to go watch it again tonight.
And that's probably what Terence is gonna do. He's gonna go watch it afterwards and just play it on loop until he falls asleep. So.
Work in that movie too, man. It's funny. Like, wow. Man.
Yeah, that's like one of the best action movies to like see on a big screen with like a surround sound and stuff. Like, it's pretty incredible. Some of those sequences are ridiculous, but hey, that's what you get with the Bay movie. So, you know what would be the best twist of this entire show? Is if Brian put Bad Boys 2 as his number 1, even though he has not seen it, he completely sells us on why it's good, and I'll be like, yeah, I agree, and I'll be like, wait a minute, he said he didn't fucking see it. So that would be amazing. But no, so okay, Brian, I'm gonna take a guess. Now you put 2 dramatic performances on there, so I don't think you're gonna put any more of those. You put 1 sci-fi film, and you put 1 sci-fi horror. Which means you got to put an action film on there. So I think Brian's going to go with Independence Day. But, yeah, I'm going to go with Independence Day for Brian's number 1.
Brian has that poker face right now, though. You can't tell which one he's going to pick.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my number 1 favorite Will Smith film of all time is not Independence Day. Because I'll explain why. I enjoy the film. I think it's entertaining as hell. It is a little outdated. I rewatched it before I saw the sequel, and I can tell you that it's not a great film. Is it fun? Yes. Is it entertaining? Sure. Is Will Smith awesome in it? Yes. But it's not one that I love in terms of a popcorn flick. In terms of a popcorn flick, it's great. But as a film, it's bleh. So my number 1 is The Pursuit of Happiness.
Wow.
Brian, I have to ask you, why did you put that as your number 1? Because that's my number 1.
Dude.
Damn, Daniel. All right.
Listen, I just want to say this real fast. I know a lot of people will probably put like action-heavy movies on there, which is totally justified because that's what like 60% of his career is. But I know Brian's going to say this, and I'll lead off with this. This is the best performance I've ever seen him do.
Yes.
It is the best performance I've ever seen his son do.
Yes.
He was like fucking 3 years old. Listen, I thought the Karate Kid remake was fine, but this is the one where I go, you know what? Jaden Smith's got chops. Will Smith has got chops. This is the movie you drop in front of people that I doubt. So, Brian, take it away. I'll let you start off first, but I just had to say that.
Yeah, this is a very, very interesting story. I mean, it's a guy, Chris Gardner. It's based on a true story, and I mean, he's a salesman, and he has a kid, and there's a lot of stuff going on with him and his wife, and I mean, it's really compelling stuff. Yeah, it's Will Smith's best performance for sure. I mean, I'm really happy he got nominated for an Oscar for this. I'm really glad he got nominated. Obviously, he wouldn't have won because that year was Forrest Whitaker. He won for The Last King of Scotland. And that's a good performance, but like this is what I call a amazing performance. This is something that we've never really seen Will Smith do. Now, yes, Ali was definitely a dramatic performance, but that had some kind of like joy to it. This performance is like sad from beginning to end. Like this guy is trying to do everything he can for his kid, but he doesn't have enough luck. And I mean, by the end, like if you know what happens, then obviously you know what happens. And yeah, like Will Smith really just shines. Like if Will Smith did not do good in this movie would just be gah. But like, and yeah, the movie may not be like the greatest movie I've seen from him, but it's like you said, Chase, it's the best performance he's ever given in his life. And I have yet to see a performance that tops this one. I mean, the line where he tells his kid, don't ever let anyone tell you what you can't do. Don't ever let anyone tell you what you can't be. You have to choose who you're going to be. Don't let anyone say that you can't do it. Don't give up. Like that monologue is amazing. Like that monologue gives me the man tears. Like the man tears, the single tear rolling down my freckled cover face. It's like genius. And yeah, I mean, and people are going to be like, why is the title spelled with a Y? Well, that's because the daycare center that Will Smith's kid, or Jaden Smith, I don't know why I keep on saying his kid. To be quite honest, Jaden Smith, I don't know what the fuck he is right now. If you saw a picture of him at the Suicide Squad premiere, I don't know what the fuck that thing is. Like, that is not a human. That is an alien interracing with a robot. I don't know what the fuck that thing is.
It's the product of your parents being powerful and famous.
Exactly. And yeah, like that's how the daycare is spelled. So I thought that was really clever because when I saw the title, I'm like, wait, why is it spelled with a Y? It's supposed to be spelled with an I. But then I'm like, I get it. It's very clever. Yeah, Pursuit of Happiness, great film. Watch it specifically for Will Smith. And if you're like, oh, Jaden Smith can't act, watch this movie and you'll see that he's a good actor. And yeah, to talk about The Karate Kid, I like that movie quite a bit, and I liked him in that movie. But this movie is the best performance he's ever given. So yeah, Pursuit of Happiness, my number one.
Yeah, that was. Listen, it came out in 2006. I was 16. You know, I'm just like this fat person, you know, working at the theater and stuff, and I really want to go see a movie, and I saw Pursuit of Happiness, and oh, fuck me sideways. I cried like a little baby, man. I still remember the bathroom scene. That woo. I still remember when he's in front of the suits. Like every single time he's in front of the suits, like he always like breaks down. And he's like, "I'm doing this for my kid," and it's like, "God damn it, just give him a chance." Yeah, what I like about this one versus all of his other films, it feels like the most like grounded, like as if like I'm watching like a real life person like going through these struggles and whatnot. And I know he's playing a real life person, whatever. I did not see Will Smith. I saw this father. I saw this guy just trying to do what he can to help out his son, and I did not see his kid either. I did not see Jaden. I did not see Will Smith's prodigy. I saw a little kid that was acting alongside with him and doing a fantastic job. I just really like the story from beginning to end. It's a great story about not giving up and pursuing. There you go, pun intended. Pursuing that happiness and pursuing what it takes to accomplish your dreams and whatnot, and never quit, never give up, never surrender, and just do what you can do to better the life for you and for whoever else is around you. And it's just such a great inspirational story. Best performance he's ever given, in my opinion. It's been, 10 years, but I still think nothing has topped it, and that is why it is my number one. And listen, Jaden, buddy, listen, if you want to act, that's fine. Just go take some classes. Did not see After Earth? What? I've seen some clips. Go take some classes. If you want to do it, that's fine. Practice, get better, and you might be as good as your dad. So that would be that is my number one, is The Pursuit of Happiness, and just like with Terence and Bad Boys 2, I actually might want to go watch that and have a good fucking cry and just like, look like I've been smoking all night. So, yeah. Speaking of what is our favorites, what is you guys' favorites? Comment in the place below our face and let us know what is your favorite Will Smith movie. Here is all three of our lists. We actually have 1, 2, 3. We actually have a lot more in common this week than ever before, and that's with a guest. So, and that's the thing with Will Smith is like, he's only been acting for 15 years. The guy's still young, like in terms of his acting career. I know he's not like young like age-wise, but well, he still looks good for, what is he, like fucking 50? So he's got the Tom Cruise disease where it's like, doesn't matter what they fucking do, they will age with perfection, and I fucking hate them. So, yeah, no, I'm really excited to see where his career goes, because when you see movies like A Concussion, or like when he does his Bad Boys 3, he can do everything, and so I'm just excited to see where his career can go, what he can do, and when he's going to eventually win that Oscar, because you know it's in his blood to do it. He wanted to do it for Concussion. Don't really like the attitude he had when he was not nominated. I don't really care for his personality that much, off screen in some cases, but you cannot deny the man's talent. He's pretty damn good at what he does. So, but speaking of that 15-year career, he's got some down the pipeline that we did not discuss, and I'm going to go ahead and throw my honorable mentions at you guys. There's really not that much. Let's see. Going down the list. iRobot. I really like that one quite a bit. And people forget Shia LaBeouf is in that. I did not see 7 Pounds, nor did I see Enemy of the State. Have not seen it. Ali. Did not see Concussion. I actually saw Focus earlier this year. It's fun. I mean, it's a fine little con movie. I mean, it's nothing really special, but it kind of shows us like the prologue, if you will, for the back and forth that Margot Robbie and Will Smith will have in Suicide Squad. So I will give it that, and that's about it. Like, I'm serious. Like, he really hasn't done that much when you think about it. So, Terrence, what about you? What are some of the ones that just did not make your list that you like?
Like Brian said, I do like Independence Day, but it does not hold up. I mean, it's like a pure popcorn fun movie. That one's pretty good if you want to just like turn your brain off for a little bit. Like you said, I saw Focus. It was okay. I fell asleep on it a couple of times. So yeah, shows what I thought about that movie though. But Enemy of the State was really fun. I haven't watched that movie in a long time though, but I remember having a good time with it. So Enemy of the State, I might give another watch though, sooner or later.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's really hard to say anything else because, like I said, he hasn't really done much. Yeah, Brian, what about you, man?
iRobot, I'll give a shout out to Independence Day. I saw Focus 2. It was alright. I mean, I hate Will Smith because he got to make out with Margot Robbie, and everyone that gets to make out with him, Margot Robbie, I fucking hate you. And I love Leo, but I still hate him for doing that. The first Bad Boys, Hancock, and Men in Black 3. I'm not going to say where Suicide Squad lies on my list because if anyone has not watched my review, I'm not going to say if it lies in my honorable mentions or dishonorable mentions.
Okay, then. And I know we don't usually do this on the show, but we kind of need to, Brian. I don't know why we don't. It's look ahead as to what they're doing next. And I totally forgot that he's doing that Netflix movie, Bright. I'm actually looking forward to that quite a bit. Have you guys heard about that one?
Yeah, Lord of the Rings meets End of Watch. That's what David Ayer said it was going to be like. I'm all for that.
Sounds awesome.
And like if he gave the same performance like he did in Suicide Squad, then it should be kind of good. Because him and David Ayer did a pretty decent job of pulling out a great performance out of him. So Bright should be an interesting type of film.
Yeah, no, I think that's besides Bad Boys 3, I think that would be my most anticipated. He's also got one coming out later this year called Collateral Beauty. Haven't really heard much, but
there's a lot of people in this one. There's a lot of people in it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I heard the cast like a couple weeks ago, but I forgot what it was about. But in terms of like interest and intrigue with the idea and plot, it's fucking Bright all the way. And plus, Netflix is killing it. Let's keep it 100 in this joint. So, yeah, let's move on to dishonorable mentions. Woo, Gallagher's. All right, so I'm sure. Listen, I'm sure Terrence is going to probably go with Wild Wild West. So I'll let him rant on that. For me, I never saw After Earth. Thank God. I never saw. Oh, I forgot to mention honorable mentions. I don't know. You guys are probably putting your diss on one. Hitch is fine. It's like that one's
okay. That one's okay.
Harmless romantic comedy.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, it was whatever.
Kevin James is funny in that one.
Here's the one I gotta go with, only because it comes out a year after its fucking movie it's ripping off, and he's fine in it, but I can't get over the fact that DreamWorks was like, you know what? I used to work for Disney. I'm going to leave to start DreamWorks, but you know what? I'm going to try to fuck them up and be Asylum as much as possible, and I'm going to make Shark Tale after Finding Nemo. Why? I watched 10 minutes of it, and I was like, what in the holy tit fuck is this? Get off my screen. It was just atrocious. I couldn't even get past all the jokes. I was like, it's weighing my day down. Please exit the building. So I will take Shark Tale for mine. Terrence, what about you?
I got two. One was you said was right. Was Wild Wild West. One of those movies. It's very rare that a movie gives me a headache. It really does. But Wild Wild West is one of those movies. It's like dude, I can't even stand that movie. And the other movie he wasn't in it too much, but Anchorman 2, like I didn't care for that movie though, honestly.
You didn't like the sequel?
I didn't like the sequel. That's the movie that gave me a headache.
I forgot he was actually in that.
Yeah.
Oh wait a minute, now I remember. His cameo was
Yeah, so it's like
I like the film. I mean, you really can't blame him for that though, but yeah. But yeah, definitely Wild Wild West gave me a headache though. It's like first 10, like the jokes are stupid, the action is dumb, and it's like, and the story makes no sense. It's like it makes you think, it's like, who green lit this movie and said, oh, this is gonna be so entertaining, this is gonna be good. Yeah. What are you even thinking about? Like, really? Come on.
And Terrence, just to think that he turned down The Matrix for it.
Dude, that's the worst thing about it though. Like,
Wait, what?
Yeah, he turned down The Matrix.
He turned down The Matrix for Wild Wild West.
Dude, man,
like, Will, what were you like? I don't know what his deal is in like turning down great roles, like because he turned down Django too. So
right, that was fucked up that he turned that down. That was a terrible, terrible decision.
Like I said, I like his as an artist. Will Smith is good. Sometimes he can be a Kanye, and his ego can get in the way. Mm-hmm. So we're here to review his movies, and I never saw Wild Wild West, but the only thing I remember, Terrence, was I remember because I was 9 years old when it came out. I remember the TV spots of the giant mechanical spider, and it was like Wild Wild West come to this weekend. I was like,
oh god.
When I was a kid, I thought that was so cool. But then, what was I thinking though? Like, well, I think I must have been talking to the doctor or something like that. I don't know.
Because Terrence, we didn't know better. We were children. Like we were just like rampant little dumb kids, like going, "Yay, mechanical spider!"
Dude. I remember they had the choice of Burger King for that too. It's like, yeah.
Holy shit, I remember that.
Oh man.
It was a Burger King toy. Holy shit.
Yeah. Dude, I remember that. Oh my goodness, man.
Oh man, that fucking movie. Brian, what about you, man?
Wild Wild West is not my worst. It fucking sucks. I can tell you that right now. I think Terrence said everything. He said everything. Other dishonorable mentions, Men in Black 2 sucks. 7 Pounds I don't like. After Earth, yeah. He had a role in that movie Winter's Tale with Colin Farrell where he played like Satan.
Wow.
Why?
Like,
he played Satan.
Listen, I never saw the movie, but I saw images on Google of like his open like demonic mouth with these like shark teeth. I was like, what?
Oh god, it looked like Shark Boy teeth. Oh. Gross. I'm gonna have to agree with Chase.
Your nightmares.
I'm gonna have to agree with Chase. The worst film that he's ever done is Shark Tale. Listen, as a little kid, animation was my shit, but this animated film bored me to death. Like, first of all, yes, it was a ripoff of Finding Nemo, but in all honesty, it was literally Finding Nemo meets the fucking Godfather. Like, what kid is gonna be appealed by the fucking Godfather? And the Godfather is a masterpiece, but why would you make a family version of the Godfather? What? With all these gangster references, like, what? No. And do you guys realize that this film got nominated for an Oscar for Best Animated Feature? Thank God Shrek... Wait, no. Shrek 2 did not. Wait, what? Oh, Incredibles won. Thank God. See, they should have just stuck with giving the DreamWorks film to Shrek 2, and then they should have nominated, like, I don't know what other anime film came out that year, to be quite honest with you, but why would you nominate Shark Tale? Out of all the films, why Shark Tale? Like, come on, that film sucks, and I feel bad for everyone involved. Martin Scorsese had a role in it.
Yeah, I remember that.
He played, like the father of someone? He played, like, the brother? I don't know. Like, Jack Black's
Father of
gangster.
someone.
I don't know. Yeah, let me think. Oh, Jack Black played someone, then his father was De Niro, and then I think his brother or cousin or uncle was Martin Scorsese. I don't remember.
I don't remember Dick from that movie. I'm surprised you remember that movie.
I do remember the fish looking like Martin Scorsese. That's what I do remember. That like you can tell it was Martin Scorsese. Like the fish. Like no clowns are hiding it.
I just don't understand how anyone cannot look at like a trailer or like a TV spot for Shark Tale and go, Finding Nemo came out the year prior. Like
James Gandolfini apparently was originally supposed to play Robert De Niro's role, and then he dropped out. Good reason, James. Good reason.
That's just incredible. Yeah, Shark Tale is just no thank you. So, guys, but listen, even though he's got his stinkers, Will Smith he's still got an early career, and looking at his age, he's actually going to be 50 in 2 years, so he's still young, and his career is still young, and I'm excited to see him take an Oscar, put it on his mantle. I'm excited to see him do more action films. Yeah, he's one of the best. So, Brian, what are we doing next week?
Next week is going to be an awesome episode because we are honoring Mr. Edward Norton. And why are we honoring Edward Norton, you may ask? Well, he's in this movie, which I never expected him to be in. He's in this little movie called Sausage Party, and we are honoring him. So, yeah, I'm excited to honor Edward Norton.
I cannot believe that, like, out of all that studied cast in there, you're like, let's do Edward Norton.
Well, we already did the star of the film.
True.
So, Edward Norton is an awesome person, and the fact that he's even in this movie to begin with, that's so unexpected, and I'm like, sure. He's playing a bagel.
Hey, that's not the best role. Nick Kroll is playing a douche, like a literal douche. So like I'm excited for that. I'm really excited to talk about Eddie Norton, and I'm gonna bet $100 right now that me and Brian will have the same number one. I'm just calling it right now.
Hopefully.
Yeah, no, we will. But since we have a guest on this week's episode, Terence, what do you think of Edward Norton, and what is your favorite film from him?
Dude, I love Edward Norton. Edward Norton is one of my favorite actors out there working today. Like if J.K. Simmons was not nominated for supporting role in Whiplash, it should have went to Edward Norton should have won the Oscar that year. But,
okay.
My favorite Edward Norton point. I got a lot of movies that I love from him though, but Birdman's great, but I gotta go with Primal Fear. Primal Fear.
That's a good one.
That's a great movie, man. His performance in that is like crazy good in that. Yeah, so Edward Norton is one of the talented actors that go on. He's gonna get just like Will Smith. He has the talent to get Oscar soon in his career, honestly. But Primal Fear, if you haven't seen that, that's a truly underrated movie. If you guys have seen it before.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Terence, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Primal Fear his first film?
Yep, it is. It is.
And wasn't he nominated like for supporting actor, like on his very first role or something like that?
Yep, he was. And
that's crazy.
His performance in that was so great, though.
The courtroom scene yes. Alone.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. And then that movie plays out, when I first watched it, that movie plays out like it's like generic and basic. But then towards the end of the movie, it plays everything out of place. It's like you didn't expect that stuff to happen like that. It's like, wow. Man. If any of you guys have not seen Primal Fear, do yourself a favor and get on that and watch that. That's a great movie.
I think before we record next week's episode, I think I'm going to have to, because I think it's on
Netflix, Chase.
Yeah, no, I have it queued up because I heard so many great things and whatnot, but since you guys kind of got me fired up and motivated, since we're going to be talking about good old Eddie Norton, I will definitely check it out, because I don't think I've seen enough films from him to like determine. I'm pretty sure I have, but I'm just giving you a fair warning that I might have to do a little bit of a catch up, or kind of recall some of the older ones or whatever. So yeah, I'm excited to do some Ed Norton, mix it up a bit. And so that will do it for this week's episode, guys, of Top 5 Saturdays Live. I want to thank you guys for joining, and I want to thank our guest, Terence. Thanks for coming on, man.
No problem, no problem. Always glad to do it.
Yeah, for sure. And then if you guys want to see me and Terence and come hang out with us, Oscar time, we do the nominations on my podcast, and we also hang out and we watch the show together, and you can come watch it with us. I never told Terence this, but Terence, those Oscar watch videos are actually the most viewed ones out of any podcast I do, period.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, they hit like in the 300 or 400s, and it's like, Jesus Christ, like people really want to watch it with us. So, yeah. So if you want to hear Terence again, you can go back and watch our old episodes, or you can wait until Oscars, since it's really close this year. Come hang out with us. Then, Terence, what is your Twitter so the peeps can come follow you?
My Twitter is at Mr. TPJ. Also, you can find me on Letterboxd under my name. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. I'm all over the place.
Yeah, please go follow Terence, man, because the way I found out how Terence existed was through YouTube and stuff when he used to do movie reviews, but he's kind of cut back a little bit. But don't be afraid, because if you follow his Twitter, his Facebook, whatever, he always posts little blurbs or excerpts of movies that new releases or whatever, so I can still get a gauge on what Terence is thinking throughout each movie throughout the entire year. Just follow him on social media. So go do that, you peeps. So Brian, where can the people find you?
Twitter at BrianSuts98 and on YouTube at Brian Sutfield.
That's fucking right. And hey guys, listen, if you want to follow me, it's at Real Chase Lee, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you'll get to see me and Brian every single Saturday. You get to see me on Sundays. I do random movie reviews, and listen, guys, to be honest with you, if you Google my name, I'm sure you'll find a bunch of shit everywhere, to be honest with you. So do that. Just search Chase Lee. You'll be fine. And last thing before we go, if you're watching on YouTube and you want an audio-only version of the podcast, link will be in the description below. If you're listening on Spreaker and you want a video version, link will be in the description below for that. We will see you guys next week for Top 5 Saturdays Live. I'm Chase Lee.
I'm Brian Sutfield.
That's fucking right. We'll see you guys next Saturday for Edward Norton. Peace out, everyone. Go watch some movies. Oh, Will Smith. I love you so, but your ego is so gigantic. I will see you guys next week.